Depending on health, age, weather conditions, and activity level, the average person can live 2 to 3 weeks without food, but will die after 2 to 5 days without fresh water. There may come a time following an emergency when clean water won't flow freely from our faucets. Flooding, earthquakes, and hazardous materials incidents are some of the hazards that could affect our water supply. The general rule for water storage is to keep 1 gallon per person per day for 3 days on hand. You will need to have more for pregnant and nursing mothers, the elderly, and for pets. Hi, I'm Jennifer Encraft, a coordinator for the Cowlitz County Department of Emergency Management. I'm here today to talk to you about the most important part of your emergency kit, the item you can't live without, water. Your first option is water bottles. These are great for short-term water storage in a temperature-controlled area such as inside your house or in an office. These are inexpensive, between $4 and $6 for a case of 24, which is not bad. You can also buy gallon jugs of water, also not a bad idea for short-term depending on your family size. Keep 4 or 5 in your house and rotate them as needed. A second option is 3 to 5 gallon water containers. These are relatively inexpensive, especially if you figure the cost over a long period of time. I bought these for $8.99 and $10.99. If you purchase these, make sure they are a number 7 plastic on the little recycling triangle at the bottom. Be sure that you purchase ones with a white screw top. The Cowlitz containers or ones with a blue peel-off lid are good for one-time use only. These are good for long-term use for 20 years. The water will be rotated every 5 years, but the bottles are good for 20. If you want to add a little bleach or not, that's up to you. Our water in this area is pretty heavily treated and doesn't necessarily need any chlorine additives, even for long-term storage. These containers are obviously heavy when they are full of water, so be sure to keep them in a place you won't need to be moving them around a lot, and of course, don't put them on a high shelf. I recommend keeping them in the back of a closet. If your garage stays a pretty constant temperature, you may consider storing them in there, but not on the concrete floor. It will have a better shelf life if you keep it in a cool, dark place. Put some duct tape over the top and write the date so you know when to rotate the water. It's a little tricky to pour from a full 5-gallon container, so I would suggest getting a hand pump. I got mine at the same time I got the containers. It's inexpensive and will make things a lot easier should I actually have to use my 5-gallon container. Yes, you can technically drink the water out of the back of your toilet tank or from your water heater, but would you really want to? Do you want your family to? Spend a few bucks and get decent drinking water. One of my favorite ways to store water is in Daterex pouches. They have a 5-year shelf life and can be stored in any temperature. Since the Mylar pouches are not temperature sensitive, they are great for kits in the car. There are also aqua blocks that look like juice boxes. They also have a long shelf life, but need to be stored at a reasonably constant temperature. They're available online at camping and emergency retailers also. Another option in addition to these is purchasing a water purification unit. I'm talking about more than a Brita water filter here. You need to purchase a filtration system that purifies against waterborne pathogens, contaminants, and bacteria. There are many available on the market at camping supply stores. Again, don't cheap out on this. It could mean your life. They are small and easy to store and can be carried in the car in an evacuation kit or in your home kit, or all three. Spend some time and some money and invest in water storage. One day you might thank me.